day I chose not to let anything win but my drive to get me to the top.
Frank Lee made the beat.
What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, we have soul healer, wellness coach, and founder of VP Exclusive, Miss Veronica Parks. How you doing today, Miss Parks?
I'm doing amazing. How are you today?
Look, I am great and even better now that we have connected. You're doing some awesome things online. And so to spend a few minutes to talk to our audience, I just want to say thank you today.
Oh, thank you. It's my absolute honor and pleasure to sit down and speak with you and reach out to your audience. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, so now, before we get started, with so much craziness going on as in your world, I like to just do a wellness check. And so how have you been doing during the pandemic and staying safe?
How do I answer that question? Everything comes from your mindset. And releasing the emotions from the past, having an absolute positive perspective on life, and feeding your body with the right nutrients, there is nothing to worry about. So for me, I can't say that I've been impacted by COVID, so to speak, because I do believe the majority of sickness starts in our mind. And I did really good of staying away from news, because every time you watch something and you go in that fear mode, stress mode, your immunity system goes down and you are more likely to actually get sick.
And that stems from the...
Yeah, I create my own happy world.
Yes.
And that gives me that shield. And there's no space for fear or anxiety or stress. And that's why I'm here to share with your audience.
That speaks of the no news challenge.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm an avid CNN, like either CNN or CNBC. And so to hear that and to just think about 30 days is a feat. But I do understand where you're coming from and the power of, like you say, creating that positive world, because coming in, letting all those things come in. I tell people all the time, you have to watch your diet, and that's not just what you eat. So jumping into it, as I read about you, I think about your story and coming to LA. The fact that you know 5 languages, and your work as an actress, and now wellness coach. Can you give us a little bit of background about you and how you transitioned from the acting world into the wellness?
Well, my journey actually started in Moldova, which was a part of Romania, Eastern Europe. And I grew up on a farm, had every meal made from scratch, from the food grown in our own garden. So I was very lucky in that sense. But like many people, I had a traumatic childhood. Growing up in poverty, we were under communist suppression. The amount of control, the lack of clothes, the lack of free time to actually enjoy a childhood and go out and play. I was constantly working on the farm, on the land. And when I wasn't working, I was in school studying. That was pretty much the extent of my life. I had my first vacation when I came to US 14 years ago. I went to Disneyland. That was literally the first vacation I had in my entire life. So coming from that, I knew that the only way to go out and build a beautiful life for myself was to study hard. So I immersed myself in books. I got straight A's. I got scholarship to a business school, and eventually ended up in America. It was never my plan to come to US, and I'm very lucky and grateful that I did. So since I was a kid, I always imagined myself being on stage and talking to a lot of people. And at that time, I thought the acting was my dream, that I get to be on TV and share that story. And for me, what the movie industry was, have you ever found yourself like going through some painful stuff in your life? And you watch a movie, you're like, oh my God, I'm going through the same thing. And you're getting inspired. You get that motivation. You get the solution to your problem. So for me, the movie industry was telling that beautiful story that can help and impact somebody's life. Well, little did I know, once I came to Hollywood and I got into movie industry, that was not exactly what I thought it was. um, Especially in the last few years, the movie industry became so commercialized that telling that good story almost became rare. You know, when you watch a movie from the past versus a movie these days, there's a difference, huge difference in quality. So over the years, I realized that my dream as a little girl was to share my message and help people in a way, but it doesn't have to be through acting. And luckily enough, having all the camera skills, now I get to bring into my coaching, because I do film a lot of stuff and I share a lot of actually complimentary content on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, on Facebook. And then my coaching sessions now, thanks to COVID, I'm actually doing them over Zoom. So I'm constantly in front of a camera, and those years of experience in an acting world had helped me be comfortable. Because when you're speaking to somebody, that's easy. But when you're filming, when you're looking at camera and you can't get somebody's feedback right away, like right now, I wouldn't be able to get the audience feedback. I don't know if they're comprehending everything I'm saying. And it's scary. You're like a deer in the headlights, because when you don't get that automatic feedback, you have no idea if your message came across the way you intended to be. So it was a great training. I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah, that is a nice story, and it's amazing how you never think, that life is a building blocks, and all the things work together until you really see it. So you think about that acting and that experience, but now look at what it's doing versus not having that experience.
Absolutely.
So yes,
It's easier
and
to connect the dots looking backwards versus looking forward.
yes, and I would say your content is amazing, engaging. The videos. Speaking of, as we look at this Wellness Wednesday, it's all about loving yourself, and so
Mm.
I think back to the Instagram post of how to fall in love with you and better your relationship. So what brought this article on, and was it from a place of like personal, or just things as in coaching and what you see other people going through?
It's a yes and no. So I use that particular exercise with a lot of my clients, but everything that I ever teach, I had done it myself. So it's yes on both ends. So the exercise is, and usually it comes in sessions when a person has a really hard time with either a family member or somebody they're in a relationship with. There is that person that always gets you angry. There's that person that knows how to push your buttons, or, triggers a negative emotion in you. So when I have a client that has somebody like that in their lives, then I sit down with them and I do this exercise. And most people can actually do it at home. You don't necessarily need a coach for that. But the premise behind it is, pick a person in your life that triggers you the most and write down 5 qualities that you love the most about them. Could be they're a great listener, maybe they're charming, maybe they're funny. Write 5 qualities. Now, on the next page, write 5 things you absolutely dislike about them. So this is your chance to write about those triggers. Why they're making you angry. Oh, they're always late, or they never listen, or they are sarcastic, or something like that. Once you're done with those 5 things on both sides, read the first 5 great qualities. When you read them, look at a mirror and ask yourself, does that resemble you at all? And 99% of the time, the answer will be yes, because we like people who are like us, right? You meet somebody who's like, oh, I'm from Michigan. Oh my God, I'm from Michigan too. I went to this high school. Me too. And all of a sudden, you have these 2 things in common. You already buddies, right? The more things you find in common with somebody, especially qualities, the more you like that person. Now, the hardest part, go to the second list of things that you dislike about them. This is where the true work begins. Because reading those out loud, hopefully, if you're ready, you'll realize that those qualities resemble you to a certain degree. Maybe not 100%, but could be 50%. Because nobody can ever trigger an emotion in you that you don't yourself possess. And that is a hard truth to swallow. So when you do that, and the work begins not feeling bad that you have those same qualities, not feeling angry at the other person, feeling angry yourself, but accepting that you are only human, that it's okay not to be perfect in every way. If you were, it would be boring. Nobody would like you because they wouldn't be able to relate to you, right? So accepting those 5 shortcomings about yourself and working on making them better. When you start working on those things, soon enough, that person and anybody else who used to trigger that emotion in you is going to disappear out of your life. Because once you accept that quality within yourself, it can't upset you anymore. Does that make sense? It's like sarcastic, and when you hate when they're sarcastic, ask yourself, how many times have I been sarcastic with somebody else? When you stop doing that, then you wouldn't attract people in your life that are sarcastic. And if they are, you understand that sarcasm oftentimes it's a mask for a void in their own body. And if anything, feel more love for them because they had a hard upcoming and they hadn't done the work yet.
Ooh, that is powerful. Powerful. That is awesome. And so when you do this exercise, what are some of the things that you see? Do people really have aha moments, or they try to put up that fight?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I would never start with this exercise. So that will be maybe like the 3rd session. And I only do it if they truly have a person in their life and it comes up in that session like, oh my God, my dad made me so angry because he's all about money and he's all about this and he doesn't do the things in time or something like that. So then when you do the qualities, the negative qualities, I'm like, have you ever done the same things? Maybe your dad is all about money, but is there another part of your life that you're all about that and you create imbalance? It doesn't have to be the specific thing. So if your dad is all about money, maybe you're all about fun and no money. So it doesn't have to be in accepting that part of yourself and start creating balance in your own life. Now that disengages that person for engaging in that drama within you. If you go deeper, those are like the karmic lessons that we get to heal and pay for in this lifetime.
Man.
And when you realize that, you release it, and then it disappears. And that's it.
That's it.
It sounds and it is.
I was going to say, it sounds so easy right then. Like, I could do this. So, now, the coaching is only a small part of what you have at VP Exclusive. So can you talk to us a little bit about the brand and what are some of the other services that you offer in regard to health and wellness?
So the mission of VP Exclusive is to help and share the best biohacks for the mind and the body so you can operate at your fullest potential. And what do I mean by that? When it comes to body, obviously we go to nutrition, eliminating those toxins, eliminating things that don't make us feel good, including the environment and the food that we eat. When it comes to our mind, the first and foremost thing is releasing all that baggage from the past. A majority of them are imprinted in our subconscious level from 0 to 7 years old. That's when we are in theta state and we absorb everything. So it doesn't have to be something necessarily traumatic, but even something small like you wanted to play with your mom and your mom was busy at that time. And you took it as, oh, I'm not loved. I'm not enough. I don't deserve to be played with. So now you take that emotion and it shows up in your life, in every relationship, even in business, especially finances. So one of the things that we do at VP Exclusive is help people through different programs, whether it's online courses or one-on-one coaching, to release those emotions on a subconscious level. to release those blocks so now you can be that beautiful person that you're meant to be. It takes weight out of your body. A lot of times when I give people, they want to just lose weight. Weight, it's such a small, tiny, that's the end product of everything up to that point. I kid you not, I did a healing session with one of my clients. She messaged me at the end, and it had nothing to do with weight. She had back problems, and we just worked on releasing that pain. So her pain went from a 10 for 21 years to a 2 in one session. And at the end, she messaged me. She's like, Veronica, I lost 3.5 pounds in 1 hour after your session. I was shocked myself. So everything is interconnected. A lot of times when we eat a lot and we gain weight is because we're trying to cover another void in our lives. Emotional eating comes from those suppressed emotions. So the underlying problem to all of it is releasing those emotions so you can be the beautiful person that you're meant to be. We're all amazing, loving people. We have been through a lot of experiences, and we do the best we can with the resources that we have.
Look, you are changing my life. I can't. Wow. Okay. So recently, I did a podcast, and it was for Wellness Wednesday, as a matter of fact. And so she talked about entrepreneurs, and you know that life of, we said we're gonna go 25/8. We'll sleep when we dead. Sleep is for the rich. And so in your program, you focus on the importance of sleep. And so talk to us about the Get Better Sleep section and why getting that nice rest is so important in relation to being the best you.
Well, I love that you mentioned that, because for some reason it became a quality of pride to work crazy hours and sleep for 3 to 4 hours and then go and work again. It's like we're getting medals for that. At what cost? That's the question. Because do you know there's 70 million people in America dealing with sleep disorders up to this point? So missing that good night's sleep, especially between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., with time, they affect your body's ability to produce melatonin. And that's what you need to fall asleep. So when you're missing those prime hours, when you don't get enough rest, then your productivity goes down. So talking about a successful entrepreneur, yeah, there are people that can sleep 6 hours and that's enough for them. There are people that sleep 8 hours. From all the sleep research that I've done, there is no one size fits all, but you do have to sleep a good amount of hours. And 4 hours, it's not enough. So anywhere from 6 to 8, that seems to be the average, but ultimately is following the circadian rhythm. Between 10 and 2 p.m., those are the prime deep sleep hours. So when you're missing that, and you wake up and you're stressed and you're still working, your productivity goes down. It's actually scientifically proven if you can take a nap during the day, even add that to the sleep, productivity goes up 3 times. So you get to do a lot more in a short amount of hours versus staying up for long hours and being deprived of sleep. Not only that, but sleep, lack of sleep, is directly correlated to depression and obesity. And that's what we're dealing with in America. So when you're constantly missing the sleep, now your body is craving sugar, processed foods, coffee. And then you get that rush for a few minutes, and then you crash, and then you need the next coffee, the next sugar load. And what does that do to your body? It's constantly your body constantly has to process that. And you don't even have enough energy to work out. So now you're missing out on movement. And it creates a vicious cycle. So I launched a sleep course where I share the best hacks on how to train yourself to have that beautiful night's sleep. And it's also accompanied by a meditation. You listen to it and you go in that deep delta state. I put myself to sleep every time I listen to it. So it's very important because your productivity will go up, your skin will look better, your body will be a lot healthier, and you're more focused, you're more aware of what's going on around versus being stressed in that fight, flight, freeze mode because you missed your night's sleep.
Yeah, like I said, I talked to my doctor, and we were talking about stress in the body, and so and that's what it was. He was saying, just think of the way your body feels if you get chased by a dog or something like that. And he said, and so when you go into that stress mode, all day your body is thinking that those dogs are chasing you, and so then
Yeah,
of course, and so we was talking about how sometimes that turns off the digestive system. And so then you have that whole setup going. And so, wow, just awesome. And it's so crazy how everything is so interconnected.
absolutely. And you got to understand your body is constantly overheated. So when you don't get that good night's sleep, your body doesn't get a chance to cool off. So watch for those people who always need to like lower the AC down to 64. They probably don't sleep well at night.
Okay.
You see that correlation.
Yes. Okay. So now let's say I see this podcast and I want to contact you because you offer the free consultation, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And so once we do that, what does that first session look like?
The first session, usually I do a health history where I look at every area of your life because everything is interconnected. Your physical, your eating, your diet, your emotional, your relationships, your finances, your career, your spirituality. Everything is a circle of life. So on the first session, we get to see the clear picture. And then we get to choose what is the first thing that we want to tackle. Because the magical thing that happens, most people kind of like going on a diet, they go cold turkey and they stop everything. You can't do that with life as well. But when you tackle one area of your life that is the most important for you, let's say you want to improve your relationship with your spouse or with your kids, or you want to fall in love with yourself and build that confidence from within, or you want to better your finances, whatever area it is, then we tackle that one. Now, what happens when that one goes up? Now it creates the snowball effect, and every other area goes up just because you improved one. And then we focus on like a 3 months goal or a 6 months goal, which usually happen in 1 month. Yes. So the magic that I do that works is on a subconscious level. And that's when I get to work with clients one-on-one or in group coaching, because I can give you the best tools on the conscious level and it will help you a little bit, but it will never solve the problem. It's like giving you a dose of medication. They'll only stop the pain. So the tools that I shared on my Instagram in 30 Days of Love and Healing, those are great tools to apply every day to deal with anxiety and meditations and stuff like that. But when we get to work one-on-one on a subconscious level, we go back to the first time, the very first time you felt anxious. When we release that that creates a domino effect. Anxiety is believing that something is going to go wrong, but it's all in your imagination. Now, if you release that trigger from the past, you don't have space to make that bad imagination. Does that make sense? So when you do that on a subconscious level, it's a one-time thing. Let's say you're anxious being in public places or speaking in front of a crowd. We go back in time, release that, you're done. That is the beauty of the work that we do on a subconscious level. Tools that you can use normally is one of the simplest ones is to release that stress, to release that bottled up emotions with physical activities. So if you have a kickboxing bag, use that. If not, just take a simple pillow and start punching it for a minute or two and allow yourself to release that emotion. You could use maybe other activities like you can go dancing or you can go working out. I don't know how many gyms in LA. Most public gyms are still closed, so you go to a park and work out. So any type of body movement we get to release that emotion that will help you balance. But for teachers and kids in the morning, and you probably have heard the word meditation, and everybody has a perception on it, but if you just sit down even for 5 minutes, close your eyes, and imagine your day step by step with a smile on your face. So let's say you close your eyes and you think like, okay, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have my tea and I'm going to have breakfast, dress up and go to school, and then I'm going to do this and this and that. Take every moment, even the most mundane activities, but up it up with positivity. Do it with a smile on your face and just like make them more exciting than they are. In 5 minutes, and sometimes it will take you less than 5 minutes, it automatically puts you in that high vibration. They get to go and flow through the day with that balance. But when you wake up in the morning, if the first thing you do is turn on the news or pick up your phone, social media, all this negative stuff, you're still in that theta state. The first hour when you wake up, that is the most important hour of the day. And if you're feeding yourself with anything negative, now you're putting yourself in a fight and flight mode. How can you expect yourself not to be stressed and have anxiety or go flawlessly through the day? So how you spend that first hour is very important, especially the first few minutes. So finding that hour to meditate, to brush your teeth, to listen to some amazing music, maybe listen to something that is inspiring. Stay away from your phone if you can for an hour. You will see how everything slows down. You're always going to be in time. There's not going to be a reason to rush. If a person cuts in front of you in traffic, you're going to show them thumbs up and wish them a great day. When you're balanced, nobody can trigger you. And when you wake up and you feed your mind with that negative information, now you believe that the whole world is out to get you. And when you get out of the house, the whole world is out to get you because you are that vibrational state. Now you're attracting things in your life that are that vibrational state. Does that make sense? How you feel and what you think, that's exactly what you attract, including people.
Whew. Thank you. Thank you.
A lot to think about.
How do I contact you to set that first session up?
You can email me at veronica@vpexclusive.com. If you don't get the email, just Google my name. You'll find me through social media. I'm the only one that does my social media, so I will respond to your message. And just reach out to me. Let me know what you're going through. If your life is perfect, how can you get to the next level? I mean, if your life is perfect, you probably don't need me. But if there is anything in your life that stops you from waking up in the morning and having that big smile on your face, being excited about your day, that means there's something from your past that is holding you. And once you release that, you're free. We're creating our own jails. Let's say, for example, relationships, right? You go through a relationship, somebody breaks your heart. Now you go into the next relationship. Are you showing up 100%? Or are you showing up 70%? Because at any point, if that new person says or does something similar to that person in the past, now the red flag is up, you placing your walls up, and you are thinking, okay, how can I run the other way? You go into the third relationship, now you show up 40%. So how can you expect a relationship, and not just loving relationship, with your kids, with your family members, with your coworkers? How can you expect those relationships to work when you have all those walls, when you have this fear that somebody's going to get you, when you have this worry that somebody is going to do something wrong or take advantage of you or upset you in any way or break your heart. You're not really to that experience. So that's what I'm saying, build your own happy bubble, and it all starts in your mind.
It starts in your mind.
We do.
Man. All right. Well, I want to say thank you for stopping by, dropping some jewels on, not just jewels, but jewels on the audience today.
Thank you. It's my absolute pleasure and honor, and I'm looking forward to connecting with your audience. If there is any way I can help, I will with my heart and soul. Otherwise, I share a lot of content on social media, so come find me for a dose of inspiration. I'm always there.
This is KT for KTTV signing out 100.